Hey there, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scariest Podcast. I'm Robin Grace. This is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And today we have 4 stories, homegrown horrors, that we're going to share with you folks. Adam, why don't you tell us what a homegrown horror is? Enlighten us.
A homegrown horror are the wonderful stories that have been sent in from the listeners and the viewers, and they are supernatural, spiritual, coincidental, true crime, sometimes extraterrestrial, sometimes stalker-related in nature, and that's happened to you, your friends, your family that have been sent to us, and we have been told, go ahead and share that. I will say, we already got one regarding a stalker, and the previous episode was regarding some stories from my cousin Yolanda, and one of her stories was about a stalker, so it was nice to see someone felt empowered to say, hey, I've been creeped on too, and here's what happened. If you have a story like that, Robin, where can folks typically send them?
I like creeping on you. Sorry.
You're creeping on me right now with this weird hand on my shoulder for some reason.
If you have stories and you want to send them to us, feel free to email us, storytime@scariest.com. You can also go to our website, which happens to be scariest.com. And if you fill out the contact us form on there, I think just ask for your email. You can title it, things like that, and it gets emailed to us that way. And it's really nice to actually hear from you folks and know that there are a lot of experiences that are shared throughout the spooky community, the Spooky Friends community. Indeed.
So we look forward to hearing from you, and if you would like to send one in, please do, and we will read it if you are okay with that. We also get people that reach out to us and say, hey, this is just for you guys. I don't want this to be read on the show, but I just want to talk to someone about it. Those are okay too, so feel empowered to do that as well. But as for these 4, they have been agreed upon to be read on the show. So I'm going to be starting out. This first one's subject is funny story for the podcast. So it starts out like this. Hi, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello.
That's us.
It's Ulrika's Anna's mom again with another story. Shout out to you for emailing us again.
Also, shout out to spooky moms out there.
All spooky moms out there. Shout out to
Ulrika
for letting your mom know about the show.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone. We love all of you.
Yeah, we do love all of you.
The story continues. You can use this on the podcast. I just finished listening to episode 167. Laughed so much. Now that I know someone's mom listened to this, I'm like, did I swear? Like, what did I do on that episode?
You swear like a bajillion times an episode, so.
And I'm at work, so everyone is looking at me like I'm losing my mind. The story about the haunted cat butthole LMAO.
Oh, yeah.
That was you, not me.
Yep.
I have a funny story where I scared the crap out of my little sister and thought I would send it in. First of all, let me say that I was 6 years older than my little sister, so she always looked to me to, quote-unquote, protect her from monsters. We shared a bedroom that had a very big closet. Every night, she would not let me go to sleep until I checked the closet for monsters.
It's really cute.
So one night, I think I was about 12 and she was 6, I decided to pull a fast one on her. I opened the door and screamed and pretended to be dragged into the closet.
Oh my God.
I was hanging onto the door jamb and yelling, "Run! Save yourself!" She screamed so loud and terrifying that my dad came running up the stairs in his underwear to, quote, save us. Oh my God, I was in so much trouble, but so worth it. It is a story that is still told in our family today. Love you guys. Spooky moms rule. Take care and keep up the great work, Cindy.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Okay,
It's so funny.
If it was your kid, would you yell at them or would you laugh your ass off and be like, high five?
So honestly, I've always had this idea in mind that the best strategy in this case is to be like, come with me, like all angry. And then like you go into the hallway and then you just laugh. Like you just can't help it. Like, don't pick on her. Okay, it's fucking hilarious. I get that. It's like, but don't do that in the future. And then you'd like walk her back into the room and be like, and now there you go. Set you straight.
I feel like laughing at something like that though, like encouraging it just a little bit is like leads to one of those kids that do that one joke where they put the mirror under the bed and they say like, there's this ugly monster under the bed, and you look under the bed and there's a mirror. It's like, oh, it's you.
Yeah, there will be retribution. I will say, as the youngest sibling, had that happened to me and my parents came in and they all laughed at me, it would have been a traumatizing moment. So I am curious how your dad reacted to it, though. So,
oh yeah.
Either way, some parenting advice is probably not best taken from me since I have 0 kids.
We have no kids.
But
we have furry babies.
I think that's how I would
are they
handle.
called fur babies? I don't know.
It's fur babies. We don't call them that, though. I think that's how I'd handle that situation. But either way, thank you so much, Cindy, for sending that in. We appreciate you.
All right, so I'm going to get into my first story of the episode. The subject of this email was another condo story. It does come from our spooky friend who shared the stories about that haunted condo before. And
was that the same email that had the dead body elevator ride?
Yeah, I think so.
That was fucked up.
Yeah. If somebody forced me to ride in an elevator with a dead body
I'd
like that,
probably quit.
oh my God. Yeah, no. All right. It goes. That was me at work yesterday. I felt so bad. Because I hate that when people do that. So
she hates it when I do it. If I clear my throat more than twice, she's like, "Are you serious right now?
Can you shut the fuck up?"
She's really mean about it.
So it goes. Elderly friend, old condos, part 2. I totally expected Adam to just be like, "Do."
I was going to, then I was like, we've barely made a dent in this story.
Okay.
I'll stop making comments on it.
It goes, "Hello, spooky friends. John from Texas again with another story from my time working at an old condo. So in my last story, I said I had a new partner. Well, that's because a lot of guards didn't want to work there at night. I had a new partner probably every 2 weeks. You must be freaking brave. Well, one time I had this really young kid who'd never worked a night shift before. So again, our routine was one guard would sit in the guard shack for an hour while the other patrolled. Well, the condo had 13 floors. Yes, 13. Plus, a large lobby area that had multiple sets of couches and recliners scattered around.
I wonder if it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 12, and then 12 to 14. Or if they actually had a 13th floor.
Yeah, maybe. So around midnight, my new partner set off on his patrol, only he didn't return. I radioed for him after the hour was up, but he wouldn't answer. After a few tries, I scanned the cameras that monitored a few locations around the lobby, but still couldn't find him. I let the second hour pass, then tried him again. Still nothing. When the coast was clear, I ran through the parking garage, past the entrance doors, and reached the balcony where I had a bird's eye view down into the lobby. Well, sure as hell, there was my new partner, sound asleep on a couch. I began to click the radio, which made a loud screech on my end. Still nothing. Before giving up and returning to the shack, I heard the radio click and heard him say, "Yeah?" I looked back to see him still asleep. I began to shout, "Hey, wake the fuck up." Still with his eyes closed, I could see his fingers clicking the radio. I said, "Stop playing. Get your ass up." He began to move, and I had to run back to the shack because if any cars drove by without seeing security, they would complain. Around 10 minutes later, he walks back, moving like a zombie. I said, "What the hell, man?" He looked confused and said, "Dude, what the hell happened?" I said, "You fell asleep on the couch." He looked confused again and said, "No way." I sat at that couch because I saw an older lady there smiling at me. I sat at the other end of the couch and began introducing myself. She was nice and told me I looked tired and maybe I should rest. I told her I couldn't because I was new and the condo manager would fire me. The old woman just shook her head and said, "It's okay as long as I sit with you." She kept talking to me, but she started getting mad because you kept yelling on the radio and I kept telling you to chill out. "Yeah, I can hear you. Stop being crazy." Well, I heard you yell at me and then she said she was leaving and next thing I know, I wake up in the dark seeing you run out. I said, "Dude, that's either a great excuse on why you fell asleep or hate to break it to you, but you probably met a past resident."
Plus he's saying, like, next thing I knew I woke up. It's like, you fell asleep, my dude.
He looked scared and said, "What the fuck? What the fuck you mean?" I said, "It's after midnight. Why would an elderly woman be awake sitting in the lobby alone?" He said, "Please stop playing. Is this place haunted?" I said, "It's an old condo with even older residents." I wouldn't doubt it. He said he didn't believe me, but he was going to rewind the past hour cameras in the lobby to show me any signs of her. There were only 2 bodies that were seen within those hours, and that was his and mine. When I came back from my patrol, I noticed his backpack was gone and a note that said, "I'm out. Peace. I fucking quit.
Wow.
Sorry."
That's crazy.
I had a new partner the next night. I'm going to attach a pic of the exact location of the lobby in the story, plus a pic of the 401 condo balcony from the last story. I have one more story I'll save for next time. Nice. We can't wait for that next story.
The condo trilogy.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine. That is literal video evidence that there's nobody there.
I'm going to activate my skeptical side right now. Okay. Robin's doing the 2-hand thing, so I'm going to do it too. I'm going to say that this guy made up a story because you caught him falling asleep. And because you were angry at him, he said, "This is what happened." I think it is possible it was his dream and it freaked him out. However, I think when he's like, "I'm going to go check the cameras," to me, what I heard as a store manager who has had people get caught on store camera doing shit, who knows that people sometimes try and erase the tapes that he went to go check it to be like, how do I delete this shit? Because if anyone reviews it, I'm going to get fired. When he realized he couldn't, he quit. He just let them know, like, I quit. I don't want to be fired. And he bounced.
It could be.
That's me trying to make up a rational explanation for this haunted fucking condo that you work at. Because the other stories were terrifying. This one still is.
Would you rather be fired or quit without notice and just walk out of a job?
I mean, either look pretty bad. Fired for falling asleep on the job means you're probably not going to get hired at any other place that uses that place as a reference. Maybe. But
for me, I think it's worse to walk out of a job. Because to me, when I write that you quit or you're gone, that's a not rehireable.
Yeah. I think either way, if you're a security guard and you get caught sleeping on camera, I would mark him down as a non-rehireable.
Yeah, that's true.
But either way, really good story.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the next installment. Thank you so much for sending that.
New partner stories.
Yes. The New Partner Chronicles of Condo 401. So before we move into our next story, we are going to take a really quick commercial break. And we're back. So the next story we have here, subject is, feel free to share super creepy dream. And it starts out like this. Hello, Adam's mama, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
Hello. And my mom says, hello, as she eats her bucket of fish heads.
Why? Okay, where did the bucket of fish heads come from?
I explain this every time I say it. It came from Simpsons, one of the Treehouse of Horror episodes,
okay.
where Bart has an evil twin, and they feed him a bucket of fish heads once a week.
Gotcha.
All right, I've been listening to Scarish for a few months now, and I love your podcast. Thank you very much. But also, fuck you, Adam, for that super creepy story from your dad. Come to the basement, randomly pops in my head, and gives me full body chills every time.
The fact that you added the sound in there like that is terrifying.
Yeah, pretty good.
That episode is very good.
Tossed in some production. And I don't think I mentioned it to Robin that I was going to do it, and then I played it after the fact when people started mentioning the whispering. And I was just like, I just felt like having people be scared like my dad was growing up. The email continues, just kidding, but not really. Anyways, I go to work around 4:30 a.m., so it's still super dark outside, and I'm the only car on my side of the parking lot. My job is in a shopping strip center that shares a parking lot with a Burlington, Planet Fitness, and a few other businesses, so the lot is quite large. I've never seen a Burlington coat factory that wasn't huge, so I literally immediately pictured the biggest mall from back home because it's the one that had Burlington in it. So
okay.
I can see this in my mind's eye right now. I had a nightmare one night that I needed to go out to my car for something, and for some reason my car was parked much further than I actually park. It was still super dark outside, and as I walked, I got the feeling that something was behind me. When I turned to look, I saw a person walking perfectly in sync with my steps. This person had only one feature to them, perfectly round eyes staring right at me. The eyes were bright white, and I could easily see them through the darkness, but no other features. The rest of the person was completely black, with a black hood on, but I couldn't even see features of clothing or anything like that. As I stopped, so did it, and I could only think to myself, run. But as soon as I thought that, so did the other person. It started sprinting towards me, and as I turned to run, I realized I could only move in slow motion. I get the slow motion thing in my dreams too. And
really?
It's awful. Yeah.
I never do
I get
that.
slow motion where everything else is moving fast and it's like I'm moving in slow motion. And I also get, I can't lift my head. So I'll be running from something and all of a sudden like I can't lift my head. So I can't see shit. And I'm like using my hands to try and like find my way through.
Do you think it's because you're sleeping in bed and you're laying like this
Probably.
and you can't move your head any further back?
Probably. It probably has to do with some sort of environmental factor from the real world.
This reminds me of that one, I think it's a Reese's
The
Pieces.
elevator?
Yes, the thing
Yeah.
with the elevator where the girl walks out, there's a guy standing there. And she moves, he moves.
Their movements are perfectly mirrored.
Yeah, but it's like at a certain point, they swap places. And the other person becomes the one that says, help me, for the next person that gets to that level in the elevator.
It's a really good horror short.
Yeah, it's a very good horror short.
So Robin's saying you
good.
ripped this off. So.
No, but it's reminiscent.
All right, I will continue. So it started running, and as soon as you started running, you were in slow motion. I tried to run towards the road to the parking lot across the street. Some mornings when I go into work, there is a Camp Gladiator class going on. So I guess in my dream, I figured if I can get close enough, they could see and help me. I remember hearing their music from class and trying to scream, but no sound would come out. I could hear the dark figure's footsteps getting closer, and then suddenly it caught up. It lifted me straight up in the air with its hands, holding me under my arms. It kind of sounds romantic. As if I was weightless. I became completely frozen and unable to fight back.
You just gotta let it go.
I woke up out of breath, I hate you, in a sweat and terrified. The creepiest part wasn't even the dream, but the fact that I could feel the pressure of that figure's fingers under my arms in the same spot it was holding me in the dream. I laid still for what felt like 10 minutes, trying to catch my breath and for the pressure to go away. I have no explanation for what else could have caused that pressure under my arms as I was laying on my back. Just spitballing here.
Swollen
maybe some
lymph nodes.
Bizarre, weird cramps. Maybe swollen lymph nodes. I don't know.
Adam had weird swollen lymph nodes on his face the other day.
I feel like this is when we look back. I didn't want to mention this because I don't want people to freak out. I just had one lymph node that I woke up from a nap and it was like a golf ball. It was hard as a rock. And then it went away. I feel like I must have slept on it weird and it like inflamed. I don't want to talk about this anymore because I don't want Robin. Are you giving yourself
anxiety?
No, I just know you're going to be like, you have cancer. Because that's what Robin says about every time I get sick or any symptom.
Tumors don't go away like that.
I hate you so much. I didn't say it was a tumor. Lymph nodes get swollen for a lot of things that your body's fighting off.
Cancer one of them?
I know because you made me look up the symptoms after I woke up with a swollen lymph node. And yes, cancer is one of them. All right, let's keep going. Let's pay attention to this email that this person was wonderful enough to send us. They were still feeling this pressure. I have no explanation for what else could have caused the pressure under my arms as I was laying on my back. The image of that figure's eyes has stuck with me ever since and gives me the creeps every morning as I walk a little faster going into work. I'm still about halfway through the 2019 episodes and can only think, oh man, they have no idea what's coming ever since I listened to the plague episodes y'all covered. Keep on creeping on. Peace.
Thank you so much for sending that in to us. Yeah,
we really didn't know it was coming, did we?
You know, sometimes our minds and our bodies do strange things where you're sleeping and you're feeling something in your dream. And because you're about to wake up, you know, your body does something. And so if you think you feel something in your dream, your body might register that because you're waking up, that you're feeling it in real life. Like when I kick something or something when I wake up or I punch something. Sometimes your body does weird things. Like Adam always twitches in his sleep.
It's when I'm falling asleep. Yeah, I twitch pretty hard because I'm like trying to fight the sleep for some reason.
Yeah. But okay,
I was going to say two things. One was a joke that sometimes the actions at the end of your dream carry real life consequences because they cross over into the real world. For instance, when Robin punches me in the face at the end of her dream, she's punching something, but when she wakes up, she punches me. Or the times when I'm arguing with someone in my dream, don't steal my shit, and I wake up, I'm like, fuck you, because I'm like so angry. I have talked so much shit about how Robin has punched me and kicked me and elbowed me. The last time I brought this up, few hours later, I was going to bed and I was running from something in my sleep. And I woke up and I full on 100% power kicked Robin's ankles. I was just like, boom! I was like, oh, I am so sorry. And she's like,
sleeping sauce. Like, what the fuck?
It was so funny. I was like, that's never happened to me before. I didn't realize that was something that could happen to me. It's because I talked all that shit. I swear to God. It finally turned the tables, and I felt really, really bad.
I wasn't going to bring that up. I didn't even remember
that
happened.
I thought that's what you were going to say. I was like, don't steal it.
I was thinking about Freddy vs. Jason, or that movie. Is it Freddy vs. Jason? The one that's like...
There's a movie called Freddy vs. Jason.
Freddy X Jason? Is that what it is?
I mean,
I don't fucking know. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
There's no movie Freddy X Jason and Freddy vs. Jason. There's one movie, and I don't know what the infographic was for it.
It doesn't matter. What matters is, isn't it like in that movie, they bring Freddy into their world.
That's the whole thing of Freddy. You can bring him out.
Yeah. So, and that's what I just thought of just now when you said, like, sometimes you bring stuff from your dream world out. And
sometimes the actions from the end of your dreams carry with it real life consequences.
Because what if that thing was gripping onto you and you woke up and you bring it out to the actual real world? That's fucking terrifying.
Indeed. But thank you so much for sending that in.
All right, my turn to read my last story.
Trumpster says, "Oh, well, you guys are so mean to each other." It really threw my mom off when she moved in with us. She was like, "I can't tell if they hate each other."
You know what Adam did to me today? Okay.
Oh, this is an accident.
Uh-huh.
This was an accident.
He says it was an accident. But, like, he went to start the car, so he's sitting in the car.
This is the car that supposedly has a dead battery. So I get it started, making sure that it's going to stay on.
And I have to leave for school. So I'm trying to be romantic. I make him roll down the window to kiss him, right?
She tries to scare me. She smacks the fucking window and pins her face to it. So I'm like, I guess I'll roll it
and
down.
so he rolls down the window, and I put my head in there, you know.
She's like, ah.
No, that's not what I fucking did.
You did something like that.
reached
You
my
triggered
head
a
in
reaction
there.
from me that I didn't control with my brain.
Oh my god.
But she had this much space to get her face in. She's
So
like,
I put my head in there to kiss him, right? And then he fucking rolls the window up and like chokes me out with the freaking window.
I was like, oh, because it wasn't just that I rolled it up; it's that I flicked it, and it was the automatic roll all the way up. So I'm like, stop, cancel.
I was just like, oh my god, you stupid bitch.
And she's like yelling. I do this thing when she's yelling at me. She's like, you fucking say. I'm like, kiss me. Like trying to be so pathetic. I'm like, kiss me. Love
But
me
your
still.
mom was still in the garage, and I'm just like, you fucking bitch. Like,
It was an accident.
I
I
don't
totally didn't mean to do it. And as soon as I realized I had flicked it, I was like, oh fuck, she's gonna die. I just imagine like her face getting cut off, like at the jaw, and just slouching down on the glass into my lap, and then like her body just falls backwards like a fatality.
oh my god, I thought I was
She
gonna
was
fucking
pretty
die.
fucking pissed. I was
just
like, I'm
texted
so
him-
glad she's going to school.
I
'Cause now I don't
texted
have to
him
get yelled at.
I texted him from school, and I was just like, my throat hurts, thanks. Like,
She's texting me, and I had already forgotten I did that. So I got a text message that just said, my throat hurts, thanks. And I'm like, we didn't do anything before she went to school. Did she mean this for someone else? What the fuck is this? So I sent a gif of the guy who's like... And then I remembered, and I was like, oh, she's mad at me. So I was like, I guess that gif still works. So I was like, I have no recollection of what you're talking about.
you dumb bitch.
It was a
Okay.
mistake. It's been a weird day. We've said that a million times. Let's read this last story, shall we?
Okay. All right. Okay, so last story of this episode is titled the really creepy house with a cute twist. This is from Q.
He was watching right now.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. It goes, hiya. Hello. Hiya.
Hello. Hiya.
This one should be short, finally. My experiences always end up so long in writing.
It's just because you're good at retelling it. That's all that means.
It means you're also like invested in the story
And articulate.
Yeah. When I was little, there was a family that was really close with ours. We spent a lot of time at their house and on their farm. I've said it before, we don't always remember exactly what happened, but we remember the feeling it gave us, right? Right. Luckily, in this case, I remember both. I can recall the exact layout of this house. Anywho, it always gave me the creeps. Always. There's nothing scary about this house. The family was somewhat well off, so it was just a nice, big, clean house. Sometimes that's terrifying, though. Like, why is this house so big and clean?
It's too pristine. Doesn't make sense.
Where does the murder happen? But I remember being scared as hell to be in it or in any room alone. They're all murder rooms. Specifically, the front room. I remember a piano in there, and it just gave me the heebie-jeebies. I was sitting at it one time, just making noise by myself, and I got this overwhelming scared feeling and noped the fuck out. I just remember this feeling like someone was in the room with me. If I was by myself, wait, let me reread that whole sentence. I just remember this feeling like someone was in the room with me if I was all by myself, like a heavy air. I was pretty young, like 5 or 6. We even did the Ouija board one time at a Halloween party there, and it scared the crap out of me. By the way, Robin, they had a basement, and the kids that lived there had toys and whatnot in said basement. And I remember having to go down there with them. No, that damn basement was creepy as hell. Heebie-jeebies. What is that one movie on Netflix with Adam Sandler for the Halloween movie?
I don't know.
It's like Hoobie Doobie or
Herbie
something.
Halloween or some shit like that.
All right. Fast forward years later, and the family bought another home and were getting ready to move. Well, although I never told anyone, it gave me the creeps. Told you so, bitches. Because they started to pack and would come back to unpacked boxes.
Oh, shit.
Fuck that. A whole box of dishes magically unpacked themselves back into the cupboard. Light switches would turn on and off, like the actual light switch, not the lights. Doors would close on their own. I think a handful of other things happened while they were trying to move. They say they never experienced anything paranormal until then, but I'm skeptical. The general thought was that whatever was there didn't want them to go. They had lived there for so long, the ghost or spirit just didn't want them to leave and was trying their best to reach out and ask them to stay. So maybe someone was just trying to hang out with me and keep me company when I was little and I was an ass to them. My bad, dog. Thanks for letting me send in another one and always indulging me. Love you guys. Thank you for being here for me in this season of my life. It just means a lot. Keep on creeping on. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I feel like it's somebody living within the walls.
Honestly, when I read that, I pictured the movie Casper. If
The Friendly Ghost?
If they couldn't see Casper. And he like falls in love with Christina Ricci.
Oh.
And he can't talk to her. And then she's going to move. And he's like, she can't go. And he's like unpacking the box while crying his ghost tears. So that was a sad story I wrote in my brain, in my mind's eye. I don't know about the rest of you.
For me, it's like there's someone that's squatting there, living within the walls, and
Robin goes dark.
And just is coming out and is like, "You're not leaving. They're like, I need you to feed me. I need you to stay here and keep doing what you're doing because I need it."
We're rewatching The Simpsons. I know this is a weird transition. But
Okay.
if Robin gets to do it with Buffy, I can do it with The Simpsons. The whole thing you're saying, like, I need you to feed me and take care of me. There's an episode of The Simpsons where they might split up, which they do like every 2 or 3 seasons. And Homer lives in the fucking treehouse for a little while. And like at the end of it, he goes into the house to like see if Marge will take him back, and she doesn't. So he goes to leave, and his shirt gets caught on like the corner of the coffee table. He's like, my tattered rags are caught on your coffee table.
My tattered
So she like undoes it, and he starts to leave, and he drops to his knees. He's like, I just figured out what I offer you that no one else can. Complete and utter dependence.
Oh my God.
And she's like, that's not a good thing. He's like, it's the best of things. Like, Marge, I've only been gone for 2 days, and I already reek like a sailor. In a couple of hours, I'll be dead. And it's just so fucking funny. I love that show. Thank you for writing an email that reminded me of it. So
is that why you lived your life the way you do?
are you saying I live my life like
Total
Homer
and
Simpson?
total and utter dependence.
You think I'm totally and utterly dependent on you?
Don't you love me?
Don't touch me. There's no good transition for this, so I'm just going to add something in there and then just cut this shit out. Thank you so much for sending in that email. I just want to go ahead and thank everyone who sent in their emails. I know sometimes things, I think most of the stories tonight were pretty fucking funny, but sometimes they can get serious. And we really appreciate people that trust us enough to be the custodian of their stories. So if you feel like you have something you would like to share and you want it shared on the show, you can email storytime@scarish.com or go to our website, scarish.com, and click on Contact Us. You can go to our Facebook, which is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Our Twitter is @scarishpod, or our Instagram is @scarishpodcast. If you would like to reach out to us, we would love to hear from you. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us, how can they do so?
You can go to patreon.com/scarishpodcast. Those are monthly donations. Tiers start at $1. At $1, you get ad-free episodes. Can't really go wrong with ad-free.
Ad-free's the way to be.
You can also go to Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast. Those are one-time donations if you're not into the monthly recurring thing. And yeah, all your donations go to helping us upgrade our studio setup, kind of keep us going, keep us creating content.
Paying off those hosting fees. It's kind of scary.
One day they'll help with paying off them student loans.
Who knows? When they hit the bank account, I'm always like a little nervous, and I'm like, we get donations, we're going to be okay. And that's because of folks like you to take that weight off of our shoulders, and we sincerely appreciate it. So thank you so much for listening. And I think it's just about everything that we have for this episode of Storytime, which was Storytime number 169.
Nice.
And I forgot to make a sex joke again. Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.